So you and Gronk got your 90th touchdown connection against Atlanta, put you second all-time in the NFL. Why is he the guy you have this connection with?
He's hard not to have a connection with. He's so easy to be his teammate, to throw the ball to him, the quarterback aspect, and it's like the connection we had since the beginning of our relationship. You know, he got picked when he was pretty young to come play together with me in New England, and I think that position is like so critical to the success of a quarterback because that throw to him is always available. You know, he's always a tough matchup to defend, and then you put his incredible athletic ability and athleticism, his speed, you know, all the things that matter. But then he is an intellectual part that people don't see because they always think Gronk goofs off all the time. But Gronk is a very, very smart player, person. He has very high awareness of everything. So we've been able to play together for a long time and do some really great things together. And he just continues to blow me away. I mean, with all the stuff that he does as a player and how I've seen him, like, you know, go from a 20-year-old kid and 21-year-old kid to now, you know, he's so mature, such a professional, and he loves football and he loves playing and competing. I think this team loves him, as they should, because he's just an amazing guy.
And he also got to present you with your Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year award, which congratulations,
Thank
by
you.
the way. And I thought about how every day we're hearing of a new honor, a new award, a new record, especially, that you're able to get. So I thought about, with all of those that you have, which one means the most to you?
It's a good question. I think the best part for me is really sharing it with everybody. You know, there's no award like in football that's about one person. You know, you don't play quarterback because it's about you. You play quarterback because you have these relationships with all these guys that allow you to be the best you could be. And I think we as quarterbacks get recognized a lot because we talk a lot. You know, they talk about us a lot on television, and we touch the ball a lot. So obviously who's in control of the football determines a lot about the outcome of the game. But you can't accomplish anything at the outcome of a game if you don't have every other guy that's doing what they need to do to make your job easy. So I think there's just a humility to being in the position, because I may accept something and it may be recognized with my name, but really I always see it as, no, this is us. You know, we were able to accomplish this. And I think that's the best part about team sports, because one day I'm going to retire, and I'm not going to care about an award. I'm going to care about how close I am with Mike and Chris and Gronk and Leonard and so many guys on our team that I've formed this relationship with, and they know how much I care about them and how much I want them to succeed, and vice versa. And I think when you care about people, you know, the reward is so much greater than just caring about yourself. You know, we're in it together. We all put a lot on the line, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally. There's a lot to playing, and I think we're all here to give our best, which we love to do, and at the same time, knowing one day it's going to come to an end, and the outcome of the Monday Night Football game in the end is going to go away, but I think the relationship we have is what's going to matter most.
With Mike and Chris here, first of all, so Chris gets the franchise record of catches against Atlanta with 15. Mike breaks the franchise touchdown record earlier this year, and he already had the 1,000-yard record, and now he's Walter Payton Man of the Year. I mean, those two guys, what have you learned about them and what brings them their success on and off the field and what they mean to this franchise?
I just think they have a great professionalism about them, and when they step in the door, they're here to come do their job and compete. And it's like there's zero concern about, you know, how much they care, their level of commitment, you know, what they want to accomplish. Like, they're out here every day trying to work their ass off to be the best they could be. That's all you can ask of a teammate, is they put themselves in a position to succeed because, you know, they work hard for it, and all their teammates trust them. And when you're the quarterback and you have guys like that, it's just it's a joy, it's a privilege to go, man, like when I was a kid, I went out on the street and played with my friends, and I threw the ball to them, you know, and they threw the ball to me. And here I am, like 44 years old, and I'm still playing. And like, you know, you pinch yourself and you go, I'm throwing the football to Mike Evans. Like, that's crazy, you know. I'm throwing the ball to Chris Godwin and Rob Gronkowski and Antonio and like, you just go, how did that happen in my life, you know? Like, there's nothing better in the world.
I think about the person in your life that maybe brownie points are the most important with. Obviously the wife, always number one. But a close second would be the guys that keep you from getting killed on a
Oh,
Sunday.
yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to lob you the softball of brownie points
Yeah.
here to talk about the yes, exactly. We'll just try that other sport.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you could crush that too. Of talking about these big guys up front and what they've meant to you in this
Yeah.
offense.
They're everything. I mean, because the offense starts with the offensive line. And if they don't control the game, then we lose the game. I mean, I can't throw the ball if I'm laying on my back. Lenny and Rojo and Gio can't run the ball if there's no holes. So they have the most selfless position on the field. And they're going against some of the greatest athletes in the world who are trying to destroy what we're trying to, we're trying to advance it and they're trying to destroy that. So Donnie's had an incredible year. I mean, he's just proven to be one of the great left tackles in the NFL. Ali Marpet is one of the all-time great guards in this organization, in the short time that he's been here. And he's proven that, like, he's a rock for that line. Ryan Jensen's had one of the great years of any center in the NFL. Alex Kappa has been one of the most consistent players we've had for a year and a half, and he holds down whatever we're asking. And then Tristan, in a year and a half of football, has established himself as one of the dominant right tackles in the NFL. So they're well coached, they're playing hard together, and they want to get the job done every game, and they do it. It's incredible to watch.
I think about all the ways that the world tends to define success, whether it's things like fame, wealth, and success in your career. And by all those measures and several more, you would be considered one of the most successful people maybe on the planet. So I want to hear for you, what is your definition of success?
I think there's times where, you could consider succeeding in certain things, but at the same time, I think the success for me becomes like, did I grow? Did I learn? Did I become more conscious? Did I evolve? And that just comes with me being around a lot of great people, that challenged me to be that, and challenged me to be a little bit better and a little more knowledgeable and a little more conscious of the things I do in my life. And I think for me, I look at my life, and I grew up as like just a normal kid in San Mateo, California. Like I never thought I'd be playing football, at a pro level. Of course I dreamed of it, but I never imagined it could be like this. This is crazy. And here I am. So the only thing I can do is try to give back. And I can do that in different ways. I can do that with my teammates and so forth, and I can try to educate people about the things that I've learned. And at the same time, I still want to learn. Winning football games is great, and that's fun, and I love that. And I think winning off the field is really important. And priorities change over time. I think that when I was 25, things were great, and I really enjoyed it being 25. But, I have amazing kids. I'm 44. I love my kids more than anything in this world. Obviously my family is a huge priority for me. I'm very blessed to find a woman that has made family the number one thing for her and has kind of put all her dreams aside to allow me to focus on football for that time of year. And, she's done an amazing job raising our kids. And, there's time for me to do my part when the off season comes. And, I think that's a really well-balanced life, and you can round those things out, ends up being the thing that I probably will be most proud of in the end.
What do you think would surprise younger you the most about your life now? Whether it's when it was that kid you talked about playing in the streets, or even 22-year-old you. If you could flash forward to now, what do you think would have shocked you the most?
Probably, there's a lot of things that would have shocked me. There's a lot of things that probably would have surprised me. I never thought I'd be playing football for 22 years. I think when I was young, maybe it would have been, I just remember meeting certain people and being like, oh my God, that was, Joe Montana I saw at the parade. And then now, it's like I have relationships where it's just, things don't surprise me.
I would have thought it would have been that you had 1,000 yards rushing in your career.
That definitely surprised me. Never did I think I could do that. I just hope I don't go backwards at this point from kneeling on the ball. So I'm always like, Blaine, you go in for these.
Yeah,
and he's always like, what's up with that? Now I got to lose yards.
That's incredible. I love that. And
it took me a lot of years to get to 1,000, I'll tell you that.
That part would have made sense if it was 22 years, but
absolutely.
without the years, just saying you would have had 1,000 rushing yards,
1,000 rushing yards in the NFL.
A whole lot. That's pretty great. You've seen so much in the league in your 22 years of how the league changes and evolves, how quarterbacking can do that. I wanted to hear for you, looking towards the future, maybe 20 years, what do you think you could see in the league or quarterbacking, or what do you hope to see, besides you being the MVP at 64, obviously?
That's not happening. And no, that There's a lot, I think, of moving parts in the NFL, and there's a lot of different agendas at place. You know, I think that's what I've realized 22 years. It's, you know, I think the league in general has an agenda to try to promote and to grow and so forth. And then, you know, there's the business of football that's grown a lot, and then I think there's the product of football. And I think just from a purity standpoint, I think about the product of football more than anything, like what's really the fans get to see and what the fans get to enjoy. There's a lot of things I enjoy. I don't think necessarily every change that's made is for the best of the game. Some I think are stupid changes, and I try to voice them when I can. I think maybe it makes things worse. Try to make a difference. Let people know, like, I think I do care about the game. I love the game. I've committed a lot of years of my life to the game. I want to see it continue to succeed, and I want to see players succeed. I want to see owners succeed. I want to see the media succeed. I want to see the fans enjoy the product, and it'll look different 20 years from now. I mean, there's been a lot of positive changes over the years. You know, the emphasis on player safety is good. I think some of the things I think are bad. For the most part, things have changed in a positive way.
And for you, what areas do you think you feel a sense of responsibility because of the platform that your career has given you?
I think responsibility in general is, you know, what I try to be. Just a responsible citizen of our communities and try to do the right thing when you can do. And I think I tell this to my kids a lot, and, you know, I'm reminded this from my parents. All you can do is the best you could do based on the opportunities presented to you. And sometimes you have great opportunities and you got to make the best decision. Sometimes all the opportunities aren't great and you got to do the best. And I think one thing that's important is you can't be all things to all people all the time too. That's tiring. There's a lot of things that come at me, and I've got to try to make sure I have the appropriate amount of energy for the important things. And sometimes it's a football game, or sometimes, you know, it's my kids' birthdays, or sometimes, you know, whatever it could possibly be. I've got to be able to be available to the priorities that are there for me in the moment. And you know, I'm always working at those things, and those are not, you know, I think you got to understand those aren't like the same things all the time. They're just life changes. You got to be able to adjust.
And what is your message to your team about December football? You know a thing or two about it.
Yeah, I feel like we're all sensing it. You know, I think the sense I have after this Atlanta game was like the middle part of the football season is really challenging. You know, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's not like it's the early part where you have all the energy or the hope, or, you know, things have gone wrong, you face adversity, so you're a little fatigued. But the focus can get really sharpened this time of year. And I think for the teams that are in it, it should be an acceleration of work ethic, discipline, determination, communication. And I think that's us. And I think we need to tighten the screws up, get things a little better and better, continue to evaluate where we're doing really good things and other things where we need to improve. We're not a finished product, and I still think our best football is ahead of us.
And we'll close with this. When you look at the team from last year that won the Super Bowl, and so many of the guys are back outside of the roster itself, what are the things that might need to be similar or different about the team this year to make it all the way again?
A lot of things need to go right to get to that last game, and then to win the last game is really hard. I think we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I think the important thing for me, you know, being a veteran and being someone who's been through a lot of these, is the game this week's as important as the game the week after, but we can't do anything about the game after. Like, it's today, it's this week, and it's not a cliche, it's the absolute truth. You can handle this moment, you know, and we don't have to win 9 games in a row. We got to win one game, and that one game is a big challenge, and we got to just lay it all out there. And as soon as that ends, you got to get on to the next one. We screw this one up, the ones after the year are going to be really hard, you know, because there's no margin of error for anything. So we got to win this week. And I think we continue to have that focus and continue to have that work ethic. I think, you know, things will go well for us.